Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. Today I want to work in my steampunk journal again. So kind of where I was thinking, like I don't like this page, so I'm thinking I might want to cover that. I'm also thinking it might be really fun to put like a eyelet in here in the corner, maybe hang a dangle off that. So, or floral even. Steampunk floral. I don't normally put tuck spots at the upper corner when I'm working on a journal. Don't ask me why. It's just one of those things. I also don't normally work front to back. I just kind of work as the mood takes me. But I've got these sitting on my desk and I don't know if I'm going to use them. But I do really need to cover this somehow or other. Just haven't figured out exactly how. I've got these that I pulled out last time that I had thought of using. Although the colors don't really do it for me. Oh no, there is an idea. Yes, definitely an idea. Let's see if I can make one of these work. So, move this out of the way because I'm going to make an envelope, like a policy type envelope. So I could use this. But I don't know if I can get it. I think there's too much white and the butterfly's too big, so that one's not going to work. I've done them with these pages, which are digital, but they are from a book, and I don't know what book. I couldn't tell you what book. I found them on, I'll find the link and I'll put it below. Blue Box something, I think it's called. These are really old vintage book images. I can't remember the name of the designer either. It is on that website where I got them from, and I will link them below. Just hang on and I'll show you what I have in mind. Okay, so these are, I've made these before from digital. This is a Tracy Fox digital from one of her compendium kits. I think it was her Trip on June last year, or her Halloween from the year before, maybe. So I also pulled out doilies. These are vintage. They were my grandmother's. I love specifically these for the edges of these envelopes, but I only have a few, so I might not use these. I might use a different one because I have lots to choose from. These are the ones made from these kinds of pages. So they're tall and narrow. You put a tag in it. Normally what I do is I take it and I put it over the page like that. That's not going to work though. Because that, for one thing, I have a tuck spot here, and for the other thing, I've got a girl here, so that won't work. So let's hold that thought, because I do like that idea for on here, because it covers up something that you don't like quickly and easily. So I will make it, but I just won't put it there. I will put it, let's figure out where we can put something like that. So it can't go on a page with a tuck because it won't necessarily work. Because as you can see, like, you do need enough room for the envelope. And then as soon as you've added this on the back, like here, you can't, unless you, like if you glue that down, you can't pull this up, or it comes over top of it, and then you have to, like, it's just like too complicated. But I do like it there. Like, I really like that there. And I like that idea. Like, I think something like that would be really cool there. Like, super cool. Sorry for getting too close to the camera with my paper. Rogue paper, it just kind of did its own thing. That's the kind of page I would like to use. So I'm going to see whether the other side of this ledger paper would work for that. And that's why I don't work back to front, because I'll get an idea in my mind, and when I get the idea in my mind, I look to see where my idea will work more than trying to, like, it's not that I'm trying to squish an idea onto a page, it's maybe that I'm trying to squish an idea onto a page. Might also work on that side. Could work on that side. I do sort of like that, because this is another one that I'm not 100% sure I like it. So it would be good to cover it with something that is less kind of cringeworthy, more more of the retro floral grunge kind of, less grunge and more steampunk kind of grunge. I hope that made any kind of sense at all. In my head, sometimes I think of things and I say things, and then afterwards I think, well, that was probably not at all understandable. It looks like something sat on that. I'm looking at my cat with intention, because if anything sat on it, it would be my cat. She thinks paper is the most fun stuff ever to lay on. I caught her the other day. I've got, we used to call them thongs. I think they're called flip-flops, or like little sandal things. And they're by my front door. And she's been like pulling them around and laying on them as if it's her cat bed. It's the most hilarious thing you've ever seen. My cat is, she's the size of a small dog. She's not a little cat. She's big. She's not fat. She's not a fat girl. She's just like, she's part Burmese, and she's got that bone structure. She's just like a big girl. So for her to try to lay on A shoe is the most hilarious thing. Oh, I wish I could make that work. Let's move you out a little bit. And then you'll be able to, oh, no, that's in, out, out, out. There we go. Is that better? The black in the corner, that's from this holder. I think this would be really fun. Let's see if I can get that one to work, because that's got that idea that I'm thinking of with the floral. I've got a couple other pages that might work. So we'll try to move those out of my space. Move this. Put that back in one of these. All right. So, first thing first, I'm just going to fold that. When I'm folding a piece of paper like this, this is just copyweight paper. If you want something stronger, by all means use a stronger weight paper. I don't tend to. I tend to use copyweight. A lot of it is because I don't want a lot of heaviness in my journal, and if I'm using stronger paper for all my ephemera, it gets chunky really, really quickly, and I just, that bugs me. But by all means, whatever works for you is what you need to do. So I'm going to try to do this. Hopefully you can see that completely. Looks like you can. What I want to do is I want to keep as much of this floral image on the front, what will be the front of the envelope. So I've put a big crease in this, which I think is going to be fine. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tear this try to keep that somewhat straightish. And far enough in so that I've got like room to glue it. And I'll probably keep this paper because I may use it for something else, or I may not. Everybody always needs much more, many more scraps than what they have on hand. Now I have folded that so I've got a little line, so that's not going to be as strong as it was. And I got a whole bunch of really fun washi tape yesterday from Temu. I buy my washi tape quite a bit on Temu because it's not that expensive. I like how it looks. And it's just kind of fun. Very, very fun. The only thing I don't like about this washi tape is it has paper on the back, and the paper makes it really quite annoying because it all comes off the roll. It all comes off the roll. I also need to, I don't need to use all of this. So I think I'm going to fold so this funny brown thing is a little less apparent. And then I'll cover the bottom of it. And then I will cut this back quite severely because I don't need that much envelope. So if you were doing this without making a mess like I just did, you would, first of all, I'm just going to cut it back so it's not as long. And I will cut, I'll probably keep that just until I determine that it's ugly and I don't want to keep it. So for these, you cut a bit at an angle. I need to take my glasses off, sorry. No, need the long scissors. So you cut a bit at an angle along your fold line and a bit at an angle along that fold line, which you can hardly see, but I'm not too worried about it being like exact. But if you really want it to be exact, take the little notched out bit and flip it over on the other side. When I first started making these, that's how I used to do it. And I discovered pretty quickly that that's like full on annoying. So when I do that, then I can come and I can just like fold that. You can fold it one of two ways. You can put it this way so that your little flap is on the inside. Keep in mind, if you do it that way, that anything that you put in and out of your pocket will catch on this. So you're better off to put it on the outside of your pocket. And I'm also going to flush up that little edge so that it's even as well. Get my baby ruler. I'm a huge fan of my little baby ruler, and an X-Acto knife. I don't ever show you what crafting supplies I'm going to use because I have no idea. I pull them out as I need them. If you would like me to tell you what I'm going to use or what I have used, let me know and I'll try to keep better track of what it is that I'm using. This washi tape, like I said, I got it from Temu. This is the tape. It's called Retro Tape. I don't think there's like a name for it. Unless Small Cardboard Box is its name. No, I can't see anything that... I think the name of it is just Retro Tape. That's so funny, it says fragile. So I want to flap at the top. And I don't want my flap to interfere with the flower. So I'm going to fold about there, which is a fairly small flap, but it's, you know, like I said, flower. I want to cut off this white bit along here. So it'll just come in like this. Trim that off. Technically, I could have folded that over for reinforcement, but I don't think it makes that much difference. Again, taking off my glasses so I can see what I'm doing. So for this, what you want to do is you, again, I'll do it from the back so you can see better because the other side is pretty dark. You want to come down far enough here that when you fold it over, you've got a line here and here so that your tags come in and out of your pocket easily. You can see here, like it comes down. There's your fold, and it comes down from your fold so that you can get your tag in and out from your pocket without a lot of bunching. And again, I'm not like, oh my gosh, is that straight, or is that exact, or I'm probably the only person I know of that can measure 1/4 of an inch without a tape measure, so I'm not that worried about whether or not I get the angles correct. I eyeball it, but I'm almost always pretty close. Not 100% accurate because, you know, I'm a human being, but I think I'm just gonna consider those not scraps. If you want these to be identical, fold it in half, kind of like that. And then just cut along here, like this. And you shouldn't get a fold in the middle of your little pocket. If you do, it's not that big a deal because it's not going to be like permanent. Okay, now for really real, I'm going to put this washi tape on there instead of just talking about it like I'm going to put it on there. What I do with these washi tapes that have the paper is I pull it back from the paper, cut a tiny bit of the paper off, tighten it up, and adhere it to the other washi tape as if it was like pretending to be normal washi tape. Then for one thing, I can find where it's stuck. For another, it doesn't roll all over my desk. I think I mentioned before, if you've got something like a washi tape or a PET sticker and you want to get it off the backing, take your thumb, push it against whatever it is you're trying to pull off, get it to kind of catch on your thumb, and you'll never have it stick. Like it comes off every single time without problems. And I'm going to put a little bit of Barely Art along that fold line just because it's washi tape and I don't trust any washi tape to stick. It's not supposed to. Washi tape is not supposed to stick permanently. And I'm going to use that little line here and line it up against that line, because if I don't, it'll drive me nuts for the rest of my life. So then once I've done that, I'm not going to cut this little white bit off because you're never going to see it. It's going to be covered by the other part of the pocket. That washi tape had a like little buckle in it. That looks pretty cool on there. So I'm going to use this little white line as my glue line. Come along here, put a bead of glue along there, which you can't see because it's white. And then a little bead of glue along the other side of what will be your pocket. Make sure that you put your the right side on the right side, or it'll all glue together. You kind of don't want that. And then make sure that you don't have it, like that your glue didn't come inside on the inside where you glued, and glue your pocket shut, because you don't want that. And you want to kind of make sure that it's all like the way that you want it before you glue this little flap down. One of the reasons that you miter these corners is so that you your edges are kind of nice, and then when you glue, don't glue above that fold line, just glue to the fold line and the edge, and then like that, and up. There. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is, just hang on, I need to get a doily. It's a good thing you can't tell how long I was gone. I have so many doilies. I have like vintage ones that came from my grandmother. I have ones I've picked up at the thrift store. I have some that I found on Amazon. So I have like a fair selection of doilies. Surprisingly enough, this one is one I got off of. So these are called French lace. That's the type that these are. They've got embossing in the center with little tiny, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see the little delicate flowers? And then they've got all this scroll work around the edge, and they're just like divine. Absolutely, absolutely the most amazing looking doilies you'll ever see. And they're vintage, like they were my grandmother's from the 70s, perhaps even earlier than that. And I have a fair number of them, but not like hundreds. So I went looking on Amazon, and I found a box of like 1,000 of them labeled as French lace. And they even had the picture of the French lace. So I was like so overwhelmingly excited. So I bought the box, even though it was like a fair bit of money. And it arrived, and they were definitely 110% not French lace at all. Like, they don't have the swirls, they don't have the embossing in the middle. So I have a box of 1,000 of these like little, like lightweight. I've been coffee dyeing. I use them sometimes, and strangely enough, I actually like that on there. Perhaps, I think it's because it's coffee dyed. So let's get some coffee. And a baby wipe, because, you know, this is gonna be messy. So this is how I grunge. This is why I don't use distress inks very often, because if I want patina and grunge, I get coffee. And it smells good. Oh, I can't believe how fast I've made a mess of this mat. It is like so sad. It was like pristine a couple weeks ago, and now it's like pink in places and coffee all over it. And okay, I am gonna get my heat gun. And I'm going to dry this. All right, so I think that's dry enough. And I want to put it on here so that it covers enough. And again, I don't ever have a distinct idea. I just play around with it until I go, oh, nice. And when you're playing with something like this, I would say that's kind of how you want to do it, is you want to play with it until it looks appealing to you so that you're satisfied with the outcome, with the where the lace lays, where lays. Oh man. That's one of those words that it's like, always get it wrong, and then always feel bad if I get it wrong. I also am trying to do this that I don't use too much of the doily because it's vintage and I just don't want to use a lot of it. And oh, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do that because then I preserve that. I'm also thinking of putting like a bird on here, similar to... Did I put those away? No, I didn't. Similar to... like one of these, where the bird is almost like a focal point against, like the flowers are the backdrop and the bird is the main element. Oh, and I used vellum on there. Vellum. 1 second. Thinking. Okay, I'm gonna cover that blue. I am. So, the way I glue lace like this, you're gonna think this is really weird. I think this is really weird. I have never found a way to do this properly. So I just kind of eyeball it like this. And eyeball it. And eyeball it. And then I come in while it's still damp and not properly adhered at all. Bring my scissors. Cut it to the edge of my envelope where I want it. And then I kind of go like this, and then I determine where is it not glued. And then I come on the lace side before I glue on the pocket side. After I've got it where I want it, then I glue on the lace edge and push it down. I have 100% put too much glue. I've put glue where all the little holes are. Barely Arts dries clear. I'm not going to notice. And I will also be putting a focal point over top of it. So I'm not too worried about whether I've put a whack ton of glue on there. You can see, like, you can't tell that I put tons and tons of glue on there. and all that you've got is like this little delicate bit of lace sitting on the edge of that. So that's how I do that. And I don't fold it to the back. You could, but I'm trying to use as little as I can of this lace, but still put lots of lace on there without it looking like I put lots of lace on there. Now to find a bird. A bird. I could use ones like these again, or that. I like when I'm using things, elements like these birds, for example, that I'm using similar or the same birds over and over and over again. Floral's the same thing. If I'm using a floral, I want to use a floral over and over again so that it has some kind of, like when you're looking at it, it feels cohesive. This is that Tim Holtz paper. No, this is not. This is a digital that I printed on my own vellum. There is Tim Holtz in here, though, somewhere. Not that one. That's also a digital. There. That's a Tim Holtz. So there is some of that Tim Holtz in there. So I'm going to go look for a bird. And then do I want to label here? Which absolutely yes. So these are all ones that are kind of like related to that. That might work. Doesn't look like a label, but it would definitely work. Oh, that was kind of cool. Really like that one, but it doesn't quite work. I don't even know what I have in all of these. Like, yeah. I'd like a horizontal one, I think. I do believe I did want a horizontal one. And it could wrap around. That one's stamped. Not like it's not a, well, kind of like that. Really like that. Okay. Oh, unless I do, because I can put all the floral stuff behind the bird, so you're not even going to see it. So all you would see is the grid. And I can actually trim that over on this side. All right, like that. So I'm going to cut that down a little. Put that in like that. Yes. Remind myself not to put my pin in my mouth so I can actually, you know. And I'm not too worried about all of like this little bit because you're not going to see it with the bird. And then do I want that like tickety kind of thing? No, because it covers up too much of the label and all of that. So all right. Poor little Mr. Birdie is going to lose a fair bit of his beak. I hope we didn't need that. No, I also got from AliExpress yesterday a whole bunch of stamps. So, and they're tiny, like really, really tiny. So we could put like a little number there. Ooh, that number is so little you can almost not see it. I like that 52. I do kind of like that. There's also, oh, there's a 710. Look at that. That looks good. That's too big. Let's put that 710 on there. Had to go find an acrylic block. Surprised myself, I put it away. Let's see if I can get that lined up even close to one of those little lines. Oh, I like that. I like that. Yes, very much like that. All right. So put that back on there. Wherever it came off of, there it is. Oh, my poor desk. Just like that, it's overwhelmed. Just one moment. Okay. I figured I should clean a few things off. So then I was thinking originally to put it here, but then look at how much that blends into that background. And I don't want to put it on this side because I like those moth, butterfly, weird AI generated weirdnesses. So the question is then, do I put it there like that? Which does work because you've got that green here. But I'm almost 100% sure I'm going to cover this with something because I still don't like it. And the one in the front here that started this whole thing, I'm 100% going to cover that because I don't like that. But then you look here, this doesn't work for me either because it blends in with that background too much. So what I was trying to solve doesn't work on either one of those pages. Could put it here because although it blends in, I don't mind it against this background because I don't mind. I really like this background. It's one of my favorite. It looks kind of mathy and I do really like that one. I think it's the other side of that one that I'm not so fond of. This one here. Like I like the other side of it, but this is just too much for me. So let's see where else we could put that. Would obviously go against any one of the plain pages. Birds and birds. No, that is not the same bird. I was like, is that the same bird? But it's not the same bird. There are a fair bit of birds in here. I won't put it against that because otherwise this little tag will cover the moth and I don't want that. No, that won't work. But that will work. That will fully work. That will definitely work. Because that fits in with that quite a bit. Now, if you were going to do a pocket like this, I'm going to do this so that it's a flip up. And then the tag that I put in here will come down. So you kind of have two options. I haven't often, if ever, done a top tuck so that you put something up into a pocket. I don't tend to do that because I often pick up my journals and things fall out if they're tucked up this way. So I'm just going to take my glue and I am just going to put glue all along this to the fold. If you wanted to use this as a tuck spot, you could. But like I said, that's not how I tend to operate. And then I think I'm going to put it how I want it more to this side with this piece than to the other side with the other image, just because I think that it will work no matter where it goes on there. I'm not that worried that the writing here is upside down. If that's something that disturbs you, by all means cover it. You could put washi tape over it. You could put book page over it. You could paint on top of it. You could gesso it. All kinds of different things you could do with that. Oh, yes. That just so nice. That is so nice. You can't even tell that that's there because the lines from that writing kind of match the lines from the background, and it just looks like it blends right in, even though it's like pinker, and because, you know, my printer is having so much fun with itself currently. So when it's all said and done, I might come back and put more on the back of this pocket, because that is pretty plain and boring. So I may do something not exactly like what I did here. I wouldn't put more of the lace and doily, that kind of thing, but I might put like more washi tape or stamping, something. And you've also got some upside down images on, or there are upside down images on this one. So if that disturbed you, pick a non-directional paper. There isn't enough of this, like you've got circles, the circles can go up or down. That's a floral, but doesn't look that bad. But again, if that was something that you didn't want, definitely you could look at a paper that didn't have a directional to it. Yeah. Really like that. So until next time, I hope you have a really crafty day, and that you're enjoying the Olympics. I completely, it's not that I forgot, like I knew that the Olympics were on, but I don't have a TV. I spend more time watching YouTube than anything, and I can't say I've watched the Olympics very much in a long time, but if you are watching the Olympics, I hope you're really enjoying them. And until next time, I hope you have a really crafty day.